How's it going, guys? It's Mr. Lo4f, and today I'm going to go on to another contract. This one's called Eco Action. I've got to head to the Institute map. I'm starting from the Heartlands garage, and then it says to like explore the area again. And then once you do, 3 chemical barrels are going to appear. So I'm actually going to do a U-turn for this one. Go out the back of the garage, fly across the terrain as quick as I can, and then yeah, once I'm on the Institute map, it's not far from the gateway to where you've actually got to explore, and once you do, yeah, 3 chemical barrels will appear, which you've got to take them down to that warehouse at the bottom of the map, kind of near the crossroads gateway, really. And yeah, for this one, I'm taking Bruce. The reason why was once you get to like the area I've got to go to, and the 3 chemical barrels will appear. Yeah, there's 3 of them. So I originally was building Bruce with a 3-slot sideboard, but unfortunately, once you do that, you can't put a crane on it as well. So, which is a bit of a crap idea because it kind of negates the point quite a lot, really, of having the 3-slot sideboard option. Like, it's there might be the odd mission, but it's pretty rare you're ever going to get a mission where you got to pick up 3 things that you can also get at a warehouse. Normally, it is missions like this where you've actually got to kind of manually roam around the map and pick them up with a crane. So, yeah, it's they should change it really, because I definitely think there's enough room to fit a 3-slot sideboard and the crane, even if it made the sideboard stick quite far out the back so you couldn't have a trailer. Like, that's sort of fair enough. But yeah, unfortunately, it won't let me do it. I should have checked really, that's why I was thinking about it, if the pay star, is it the 5600, like the longer one that got added, I think in phase 3, that one, I know it can have a 3-slot sideboard, but I'm not sure if that'll have the same issue where it just won't let you have a crane as well. Which this is a sort of mission where, as I said before, they're just on this phase, they put the trailer stores in like crap places. So there was another mission I was looking at doing, was chicken coop, but I need 4 metal rolls, which I can go and get from the crafting zone, which is on this Heartlands map. But yeah, I'd have to go past that crafting zone to the trailer store, which is kind of on the way to the Harvest Court map, then come back and get, and it's just like a lot of doubling back on yourself, which it's not the end of the world, but it's just more, it feels inefficient doing it that way. I kind of like to keep the missions as short and, yeah, kind of efficient as possible. So the only other option I suppose would be to take a twin steer with that, but still, it's if they had a trailer store at the actual garage, it'd be pretty nice. And right on cue. Must be traffic again. I think that was a cop car that time. Yeah, so I didn't do the chicken coop in the end. I think as well I need to take fuel to the bloody generator and fill that thing up, because I don't think I'll have enough left to craft the metal rolls. So yeah, once I like built Bruce and all the rest of it and went to put the crane on, it wouldn't let me, so I just decided in the end, sod it, I'll just change it to a 2-slot sideboard. I can wear one of the pieces of cargo like a hat, like I'm doing with the goddamn horse. And yeah, Bruce, well, he's pretty handy. One, it fits a loaf onto the roof quite nicely, although I can still fit a loaf on the roof if I put the biggest like snorkel on Bruce. But I don't know, out of kind of some random OCD-ness, I think I like to have the loaf nice and centered on the roof, and when you've got the snorkel poking out the top, you have to put it on a bit of an angle. So I sort of figured I don't really need to do much driving through water on this map, or nothing too crazy. And I've not taken a Bruce out for quite a while, like with just the stock snorkel. So when you actually look on the back and when you fit in the snorkel, it looks like there's already like an air box at the back, and there's a pipe going up to the roof, but it just doesn't come out the roof or anything. And then when you add like the 2 best snorkels, they just kind of add like a little scoop thing onto the roof. But I noticed from this one, like when you just leave the stock snorkel on, the engine like intake must sit pretty bloody low, because it was moaning about drowning. It was bringing up like the warning thing saying you're pretty close or whatever, when I wasn't even in water that deep. And there, just going past there, that's just a little bit back, is where I got stuck on those bloody tree stumps the other day. So much so, the map even has still remembered like where I've chewed the whole map up trying to get out of there. Normally it sort of resets the terrain when you quit and reload, but yeah, I must have been stuck there for so long. The game, it's like permanently scarred the game's memory as well as mine. Just as well, I got caught there on those routes, And they've always been a pain in the ass, but I'm pretty convinced. I've noticed a few things recently that I think is kind of like a good hint that Phase 9 is getting closer, because the closer we get to a new phase, I'm pretty certain they do kind of like stealth updates in the background that we don't actually, get like on the PlayStation anyway. It pop up and saying like you need to do an update. But I think they do like little stealth background updates, and you just notice a few little things sort of breaking and changing. And yeah, with those routes, I'm convinced that, I don't know, they've either raised them slightly further out the ground, but they also seem to come loose a bit more and get their swerving, like swaying into the territory of like the dead trees that lay across the road. Because the other day when I drove through one, it kind of phased into the loaf and pretty much came like right out the ground, which normally, that's the first time I've ever been able to sort of rip a route out the ground. And then yeah, then as well, as I was driving over that route, it seemed like they didn't fully come out, but as I was driving over it, you could see it was kind of sticking out the ground a bit more. So yeah, I think they've done something with that. I've also noticed, not that it's the end of the world, but every now and then when I hit the horn, it doesn't work. You have to like press it twice for it to honk the horn. So it's just little things like that where, yeah, they break/change the game usually when it's coming up to a new phase. So fingers crossed it can't be too long. Yeah, that's what she said. And then now, I know this is a bit of a boggy section and all that, but Bruce used to be an absolute unit that had mountains of torque and it'd be fine. Yeah, these days, since they've broke the gearboxes, and this road I think is a little bit on the hefty side as far as slowing you down, but you can see like not just like the gearboxes themselves or whatever, or the terrain. Well, when I go into high gear, it's been kind of thrown in the towel pretty quickly. It never really used to do that with Bruce. And at this point as well, the roads, between the roads and the gearboxes, just making everything feel ridiculously weak. Yeah, I just thought I was like, sod it, I'm not going to bother. I won't even try and stick to the game's rules and follow the road. I'm just going to drive to the left of the road on the grass, where the devs haven't bothered to kind of overdose it on coding and restrictions and all the rest of it. So vehicles actually behave pretty kind of normally if you just invent your own route and go flying across the countryside. It's when you listen to the game's plans and follow the road that it usually becomes a bit of a pain in the ass. And then yeah, this mission as well, it ended up being fairly long, just because I suppose between the fact that the engine feels a bit gutless torque-wise these days, but yeah, it's just the advanced special gearbox as well, so it does, particularly when you're going along roads like this, it sort of feels a little bit on the slow side. I certainly wouldn't say no to a high range gearbox amount now, and whack it in high gear. And that's what I still like, especially these days that they seem to have broke the torque and everything going on with the vehicles, is yeah, you actually get the torque you paid for in high gear. So, which I can go into high gear in this. Well, like I said though, I don't know if it's just not building up enough revs or what's going on, but it seems to, yeah, throw in the towel pretty easily. That's why, like, now I'm in high-low, which I rarely, if ever, had to do, really, especially on, not just Bruce, like, he's one of the strongest vehicles in the game, but having the advanced special gearbox as well. Used to be, that was like the one sort of saving grace of it, really. It was always like a pretty nice gearbox, power-wise and all the rest of it, but yeah, it doesn't feel like it used to, really. I don't know, they're just, yeah. I won't hold my breath for it, but I hope they kind of fix some of this stuff when we go to Phase 9, but sadly I've got a feeling they are kind of, yeah, they just do it on purpose, because I assume they want to slow the pace of the game down, but I don't really know why. Like, I don't mind, I could understand to a degree maybe the top end high speed if they don't want it to go skidding around, if just the way the physics behave in this game. But even at slower speed, like this sort of speed, you can see there, as soon as you hit the mud again, it just, yeah, there's no oomph to the vehicle. It's like a, a custom off-road supposed beast mode vehicle, and as soon as it hits mud, it just, yeah, it's like you instantly lose 50% of your power, if not more. But yeah, get to that point, that's like a blue box once you arrive there. Like I said, a lot of missions, for whatever reason, are just, you got to drive over to the Institute map and, yeah, just drive to one of these random warehouses scattered around the map. I saw it all came back to me when I got that. So there's one set there, which I was originally going to go around and grab that last, but I'm going to get it first on the way, so I don't sort of double back on myself. And then, yeah, 2 lots of chemical barrels, like, further up the map on the other side of the river. Which, yeah, I remember this now, because when I did this mission on the live stream, I was just chatting away, and I did the right route, but I think I grabbed this first lot of chemical barrels first, but yeah, the second lot I just drove past completely and then grabbed the next one, so I ended up doing like 2 or 3 runs sort of back and forth across the map because I wasn't really paying a whole lot of attention. And yeah, I was hoping to like a bit of a quicker mission today. Like, again, I probably should have just chose a vehicle with a higher range gearbox because yeah, when I woke up I assume it's a trapped nerve that just goes every now and then. It's like in my neck, and it's I can't find any comfortable position to sit. It feels like my neck is permanently, like the muscles tensed up, and I can't relax it, and it's driving me mad. So normally I'm sitting forward when I'm recording this, especially so I don't snag like the headphone line or anything, but right now I'm laying back. It's still hurting, but laying on like my head against a pillow feels like it's taking a bit of the weight off. But yeah, goddamn, it's driving me mad. How do you even fix like a trapped nerve or whatever? I doubt the doctors would do it these days, and if they did, it'd probably be in my 40s by the time they book you in and get it sorted. But yeah, I think at some point I'm going to go and have to see someone or do something, because it just does it over nothing. And again, I assume it's a trapped nerve. It seems to like nothing happening to be a pulled muscle or something, and yeah, goddamn, it hurts. It's even like, especially having asthma as well, it's nice to cough every now and then to kind of free up my chest a bit, but I can't even take like a full deep breath and have a good cough without it hurting. So yeah, not too good. It's been a bit of a rough week, I'll say that much. Anyway, yeah, grab the first lot of chemical barrels. Another goddamn professional from a previous mission. What truck is that? Is that one of the... No, it's not the Wolfpack trucks, is it? I can't remember what that is. It might be the 49X, maybe. Or was it one of the Wolfpack trucks, but maybe not the one that... It might be the one without the custom paint job. And then yeah, I kind of, for whatever reason, I assumed like where I grabbed this first lot of chemical barrels from, I thought all 3 had kind of be scattered around that swamp, but they're not. So yeah, like I said, I didn't equip a snorkel, but I'm now heading like kind of over to where the river section is, so it probably would have been a good idea to get one in the end and just accept the fact my loaf would be slightly on an angle, but still, I have no regrets. We got it done. Although yeah, like I said, I reckon with a vehicle with high range, I probably could have done this mission. I don't know, I reckon it would have shaved probably 10 minutes off the mission. Now, it looked like it was about to go, but Bruce's big fat chin got stuck on that pipe. To be fair, after that, as soon as I actually got the chin up on the pipe, it kind of drove along pretty nicely. But you can see again, it's just, yeah, Bruce used to have more low-end oomph than this. It's always a good view though when you're wearing a loaf like a top hat. You know the mission's going to go pretty smoothly. Or at least you got an extra life. If it doesn't, he's still got his 100% rescue record. So it sounds like now along these roads where you really feel the gearbox. Need like some special, I don't know, highway high gear. These little bridge things as well across the various roads. They're so crap, it'd be better off if they just got rid of them. I end up getting stuck on the wood more. Yeah, that's definitely what she said. And yeah, at least thankfully crossing this river on like the actual side you're supposed to go on, the river doesn't end up that deep, so I don't think it really got me too much with a snorkel. But yeah, look, it's already bringing up the warning message, which Normally, obviously, if you had a snorkel on the roof, it wouldn't even be close to doing it. It's even getting me there a bit. And now, I assume it's the stupid dead tree. Which should be fair for the most part, particularly that Bruce has got like raisable suspension now. Which helps a little bit, at least it keeps his chin kind of a little bit higher than it otherwise would be. Yeah, for the most part it was like going over those dead trees, or like the root end of it anyway, that is some kind of trollish, annoying hitbox thing going on. But yeah, that time it got me. Thankfully though, it didn't quite get me while I was taking engine damage. But yeah, at this point you can see there's a lot of water going on, and I was kind of like, damn, a snorkel would have been nice. I can still definitely cross the river and all the rest of it, like, without needing to go into deep water, but I kind of like trying to wade over the rivers. Oh, and this stupid blue crane as well. It's definitely pretty broken these days. I don't know why that keeps happening as well. Every time I try and join the crane up, it keeps trying to grab me life. I know he's a goddamn professional, but I'll take a picture, it'll last longer. So I was looking now, it didn't look too bad. I thought, well, I'll probably take a little bit of engine damage, but we drop the hammer and go through. To be fair, if I'd probably been paying a little bit more attention, I could have done with driving over to the left a bit more. But you can see how low the engine must be with like the air intake and all the rest of it, because it's taking around 50 damage each time, which is pretty hefty. I think the highest damage you can take is 80, and once it goes lower than that, it will just automatically stall you. But yeah, 50 hits of points like every second odd. Sooner killed the engine, but as I said before, get yourself a loaf. He's goddamn professional. Build them revs up, release the handbrake, he jumps off there. Of course, it's time for rescue mode. I think it must be Bruce's bumper. Is he? In fact, I might have just seen another bloody dead tree in the water there. It's either a dead tree or the bumper's caught on those rocks. Because it really didn't want to get out of the water too willingly. It's a good job the loaf still got all his torque. You can talk the talk and walk the walk. So yeah, just had to kind of drag Bruce out at least enough, so it's not just going to hit me with like massive engine damage as soon as I start him up. I think I was messing around, like dabbing the winch on and off. I was just trying to see if the zombie winch thing had worked, but again, I think, yeah, Bruce is caught on summit. Got him fixed up though. It's a bit of a greedy engine, took all 300 repair points. And there wasn't a big edit there, by the way, it was probably about 10 seconds, but again, I wasn't really doing a lot, so I don't know what the hell I was doing. I was probably having a sip of my coffee, and yeah, with a my neck, just trying to drink it without having to move. There's a goddamn unit. So we got him out of there, but I tried swerving around the way, obviously loaf managed, but yeah, I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, this is like another dead tree, stupid root bowl thing I'm stuck on, so I'm like, sod it. I'm not even going to mess around, I'm setting off with a loaf. Swerving around like, I don't know, I was actually trying to drive on all those slabs. Almost did a better job of missing every slab. Get him parked up, he gets his victory horn. He still saved me bacon. I'm always getting to the point where I hate those trees more than tree stumps. I don't know, tree stumps are probably still in the lead, but it's not far off. I mean, at least there is the fact that you can attach a winch to them, but I've noticed that I get stuck on them more than I need them as a winch point, and even if I do use one as a winch point, it's usually because I've got stuck on another one in the first place, so I think in the scheme of things, if they just removed all of them, or at least give us the chance somehow, even if they did it like how we can delete trailers, just delete those bloody trees. I'd rather chance my luck, yeah, cutting across some of these like river sections without any trees. I'll just send out the Lo4f as a mobile winch point if I need to. Oh yeah, I edited it out as well because it was painfully slow to get it done, but I obviously put the Lo4f on the cargo now that's loaded. But yeah, the blue crane is pretty goddamn horrific these days, so it probably took a minute or two. And like I said, this video is already a bit longer than I was expecting. I was kind of hoping for, I don't know, more like 15-20 minutes. I don't know if I was just getting unlucky as well. I mean, Bruce got a pretty good turning circle because he's got rear steer, but I kept noticing tonight, like just in certain patches, I'd understeer pretty badly, really. And then every now and then the steering will kick back in and yeah, turn another housefly like the Lo4f. Grab that cargo and only did a little edit here because there is enough room between like the sideboard and the cab of Bruce that you can actually kind of wedge the cargo down sort of between the crane and the cab, but I did that at first and then I was like, sod it, I just went back to wearing it like a hat. To be fair, Bruce is pretty planted, so it doesn't really tip too much. It's not too bad keeping the weight that high. And yeah, use the crane to kind of pinch it down against the roof, and it stays on there pretty well, even though I think I've got the winch or crane cable thing attached to it, but you don't really need that, to be honest. Just sort of smashing the crane down into it and keeping it pinned to the roof. In fact, I don't know if it does it these days. I've not really paid attention, but when you do have the snorkel on, it used to be the same with the Dolphin as well. The snorkel will kind of phase through the hitbox of like a square piece of cargo like this you put on the roof, and even though it'd like phase through the bottom of the cargo so it'd sit flush on the roof, when the cargo tried sliding off, it'd, if you imagine like just the outer edge of the cargo like was a hitbox, it wouldn't be able to go through the snorkel. So once you kept like the crane as well, sort of like it is now, keeping it pinned down, it'd have to kind of like bump the cargo up in the air, up and over the snorkel to get it off the roof. So that used to help quite a bit as well. I mean, clearly I think the whole time the cargo stays pretty planted, so yeah, it's not going anywhere. But again, Bruce is not exactly going to be setting any top speed records, so I suppose that kind of helps a little bit with not bouncing around so much. But personally, yeah, I'd rather have a high gear, and I'll just take the chance. Well, once you've got the cable attached, like the cargo can't really go anywhere anyway. I forgot at this point that I was going left. I was like, oh yeah, shit. A bit wide on that road. And thankfully this is not the trollish stupid river crossing. I think that one might be like to my left, further up the map. Which yeah, from now on I think I'm just going to avoid at all costs. Don't know what I hit this time. Bruce is not doing too well on the old river crossings. Not sure if I was just getting a bit unlucky clipping things, or if they've I don't know, like the hitbox of Bruce's chin seems a little bit more excessive than usual. We got out of there, and yeah, between like the lack of power going on, particularly when you're going along these roads, it was getting old, so I'm just going to drive along the edge of the roads and actually drive at normal speeds. My Lo4f headbutted a tree. Don't blame him, it's probably on the list. So you can tell the old rear steer kicked in then. Yeah, like, it's just a lot better, as you can see, cutting along the grass, like, just cut the roads out altogether if possible. And I've just seen a dead tree line across that stupid swampy section there. Somebody Somebody there. We've had Rock Man, Tree Stump Man. Now we've got Dead Tree Man, and Root Man. And God knows, I think they probably had the rest of the week, and they were just like, yeah, shit, I'm gonna have to look busy, put dead trees everywhere for no apparent reason. We made it out of there. We're on the road. And again, some kind of super high gear would be nice right about now. But apart from that, though, again, Bruce has, yeah, he's been pretty decent tonight. The drowning in the water, I'll kind of skip that, because again, I could have put a snorkel on, so that's kind of on me. He got his chin caught once or twice, but not the end of the world. I think, yeah, if I was going to do this mission again, I'd probably just take the Dolphin, because it's kind of a similar truck. It's got the super wank sped in this way, but yeah, it's just, I don't know. Like, yeah, it'd be faster. I think the engine would sit a bit higher anyway, plus I'd have the snorkel. You also don't take engine damage when you crash in the Dolphin, like if you hit anything from the front. The thing is bomb-proof. So again, look there, like as soon as you hit the mud, completely gives up. And then I tried putting it in high, but I was probably a little bit slow on doing that, but yeah, then it immediately tried stalling. See someone abandon a tractor on the left. But yeah, considering it's like one of the best trucks in the game, 10 wheels, like purpose-built off-roading vehicle, it should be handling little pools of mud like that a bit better than it is. But we made it. In the end, it's a little bit of a sort of non-mission, really, if you know what I mean. It doesn't really overall add to the I don't know, whatever the goal is on this phase. I think it's kind of been done now, to be fair. There's still a windmill I've got to build, but who really cares about windmills? I'll get it done at some point. I've got to grab that bloody fan blade with an 8-slot trailer from, I think, the bottom end of Crossroads, and it wants me to take it all the way to like the top end of the Harvest Court map. So just unpack the Lo4f, reverse him off, and I did want him to kind of sit like that. He knows what he's doing. Yeah, drop both of them off, swing this cargo around. You can see with the blue crane, it's fighting, even lifting at the minute, just to clear like the sideboard. The thing is horrific these days. Get that done, you can zip the loaf back in there. And that's why, yeah, I wanted him to kind of be balancing like he was, otherwise I'd have just floored it in reverse and flew off the back. See how his tyres hang on to the sideboard when you want them to? It is a skill of the goddamn horse. Yeah, I think money-wise though, to be fair, it's not too bad considering it's a relatively simple mission. It's about 8,000 or something. Reverse up, part next to my Brigadier, 8,000 is it? GMC, there's another goddamn horse. I was lining them up to see how much longer Bruce is. But yeah, anyway, that's about it for today. I hope you enjoyed, I hope that helps. Thanks for watching, thanks for my Patreon members. Get yourself a loaf because he is a goddamn professional and he saved me again. And I'll be back soon.